Guitarist here. Welcome to your brand new Stage 5 RS amp. Hope you guys enjoy it as much as I have been enjoying it. I'm going to give you some quick tips on setting the amp, on working your microphone, some delay suggestions if you use a delay pedal, and a couple quick features on the amp today. So let's talk about a quick setting. We all have different microphones. Some people have crystal elements, some people have controlled magnetic or ceramic. So there's all these different types. This is a human element inside of here for what it's worth. And you have to experiment. So what I do, and it doesn't matter what microphone, if I'm using somebody else's gear and I don't know what it's gonna sound like, I pretty much take this approach. I like plugging in straight first, no effect, and turn the amp, on this case, on this amp, to 3, and try putting the tone at around 3. This is not where you're gonna end up, but it's a safe starting point to have the volume all the way open, wide open, 1, 2. When you're setting your amp, if you have a volume control, leave it wide open. That way you know where the point of feedback is and you can get right below that. So just play a little bit. After you're on 3, I'll make sure I'm on 3 here. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so once we're lined up on the 3, we're just gonna blow a note. And I've got an A harp. I can tell that I have a lot more room and that I'm going to want more bite and attack. I know that as I increase the tone knob on this amp, it's also going to give me more gain. And if I lower the tone knob low like it is now, it's going to give me less output, less gain. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to turn the amp up 1 click and turn the tone up 1 click. And I bet you that's right there, a real sweet spot. Now we're getting more of that traditional Chicago blues tone that you're looking for. The key is go slowly, raise that volume, and when you find the point, we're not at the point of feedback yet, but when you want to go full volume with the amp in a setting where you've got a full band you're playing with and you want to dial it in, keep the mic wide open and turn that volume slowly until you hear the feedback. Go 1 click below it or half a click. Make sure you can hold it, the mic in front of the amp with no feedback, and now you know where your max volume is. That's how you set an amp. At least that's how I set an amp. Let's talk about the button, the 1 watt to 2 watt feature on the front of the amp. When it's not pushed in, you're at the full 5 watts. And when you push that in, you're getting it approximately 1 to 2 watts out of this amp. It's just a nice feature if you're suddenly go to a very quiet song or you're in a duo setting and you don't want to mess with the dials. You just want to leave them where you like them set. Click the button. Here's what it sounds like without it pushed, so 5 watts. And then we go ahead and push that button in. Still gnarly and nasty, but it takes away 40% of the volume or so. I hear a difference, and it takes away some of that real aggressive push, so it mellows it out. On the back of the amp, you'll see an external speaker out, which is kind of cool because you can then use that to run like a speaker cabinet that's just a speaker. But the line out is where you're going to get a bunch of mileage, I think. There's 2 ways to use your line out on the back of the amp. One way is to take just a standard guitar cable and plug it into a mixer and run your little amp through the speakers. Now you got as much volume as you'll ever need for any situation. But the other thing, and when you do that, dial in that channel if you have access to treble, mid, and bass where you're putting that line out into the mixer. Raise the bass just a little bit, put it at about 60 to 70% and lower the mids and highs, 20 or 30% so that you get a nice full big sound out of the PA. So that's the line out. The line out can also be used to drive another amplifier, such as the Memphis 20, let's say. Any combo amp you just want to plug into and play, which is how most of us are going to try this. This is a cool experiment. I'll be putting a video up soon of it. And just plug in from the line out of your Stage 5 and go right into the channel input on the amp. and you'll find that it's going to give you the tone of the stage 5 and drive the speaker of that amp. That's a cool experiment to mess with. Let's talk about microphone technique today. Before we do it, I'll show you my settings on delay. If you're into delay pedals, I'm using a Lone Wolf harp delay, and I just want to show you where the settings are. The blend is like 30 to 40% up, so just a little bit. I wouldn't go any higher than the halfway on the blend for my preference. And then I just want to show you that I use very little delay and repeat. That minimal setting there where it's just barely clicked on for each of them, I just prefer that. It gives it a nice full tone, and it doesn't make your sound get too swimmy or lost, mushy as it goes out there. But today is just straight in, no delay. All right, last tip for this video, and this is an important one. This is one of the biggest secrets to getting big amplified tone. 2 fingers on the harmonica mic. Practice walking around, only 2 fingers to hold it. That space between is crucial. A lot of people show you to hold the mic like this. You can get a good sound like that if you're compressed, with your fingers together. You're looking for any areas where air can get out and trying to seal it up with your face. But my favorite position, and I found this gives me the biggest tone possible, huge, and I think you'll be able to find it with a little bit of practice, is to take this pointer finger here, line it up on the harp, wrap these fingers around, and then when you play the harp, let's say you're going for those big fat notes, 2, 3, and 1 on the bottom, look to your left and push the harmonica like this right into your cheek, and lean your whole hand and face and lean into everything, sealing up with your thumb on the bottom and your cheek, all of the rest of those missing spots where air could have gotten out. So that's the difference between this sound and this sound. So practice that. See if you can start to really seal it off, and you guys are going to have some fun with it. And I hope you enjoy the Stage 5 amp as much as I have. If you have follow-up questions, you can always go to stage5amps.com and ask Rick what's going on. If you have anything you need, he's a great guy to work with. So hope this helps you guys out there, and enjoy your new amp.